this Dr. Gunter, who's making a claim that there's lectins in a vegan diet that are not good. Are you familiar with this claim, and do you want to comment on it?
Yeah, that's not his name. It's
Sorry.
Gundry, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, we're all familiar
He's not
with
Ganji, he's Gunji.
it. I forgot. Now I forgot it. Now you got me all confused. I forgot.
Whatever
his
his name is,
Whatever
Mr.
his
Lectins.
name is. Yeah.
So you have to understand that I think a lot of people become enthusiastic about what they're currently experiencing in their own life and start to expound on it outside of their knowledge zone and comfort zone, and that's what happened with this gentleman. If you read on in his book, he'll also tell you that free-range chicken would be a great thing to eat, not a cucumber. Not, for instance, a red pepper. I've been giving red peppers to people, organic red peppers, for decades. Why? Because they're loaded with vitamin C. I've never seen anyone get sick on our diet, but contrary, the exact opposite. But I have seen people get sick on free-range chickens. So I think what we have to do, I don't know what you have to do, what I always choose to do is look at the wide story, not just somebody's enthusiastic opinion. I'm sure a lot of people do this for the right reason and believe in what they're writing. But the fact is that there's no science that would actually prove what he's saying is true. We can show you overwhelming science and data. As a matter of fact, you'd have to live another 5 lives just to see the science on plant-based nutrition and how it prevents aging and disease. I mean, it's that simple. We go to bed reading science as we will tonight, get up reading science, and we touch a fraction of 1% probably of what's coming out.
Some people are sloppy in their science,
Yeah,
and some people are just frankly dishonest.
yeah, you're right.
And I don't know, call a spade a spade. If you look at the book, and he makes this claim, and he has a reference and a scientific reference that supports that claim. Yeah. And you say, oh, must be some scientific reference. This claim doesn't really sound like it's really right, but if there's a scientific reference, you pull out the scientific reference, you read the article, it didn't support the claim. And that just happened one place in the book. It happens over and over again on almost every page of the book. He's dishonest, he's making up stories, and he's concocting a program so that he's determined how to get rich on by selling something that's going to solve the problem that he created to begin with and faked.
Well, I've
So
heard he sold 68 million copies on the internet. Is that
Wow.
true?
I have no idea.
This is one of the most...
But he's selling these supplements that'll fix the problem with the lectins in the food that he invented is the problem.
That's always suspect.
You know, but if you read the book with scrutiny,
Yeah.
you will recognize that he's distorted the data from the scientific literature and falsely support the claims he made in the book that are just plain wrong.
And I'd like to add one more thing. You can always do what I like to call the acid test. And the acid test to me for this book, or the claims in this book, would be, what do the healthiest, longest lived people on the planet do? And the only thing that they all do in terms of food choices is every single blue zone consumes legumes. Legumes are the most concentrated source of lectins. If lectins were poison, they probably wouldn't be
100
the
years
healthiest,
old.
longest lived people in the world.
I never thought of that.
You
That's
know,
right.
it's just, the common sense. And the other thing is, almost all the studies showing negative health consequences of lectins are on animals eating raw legumes. So raw legumes, and also we need to understand there are lectins that are quite dangerous, and there are lectins that are now being used to make cancer, as a cancer therapy, that are actually powerful. Yeah.
But 100% of his patients recovered from every disease in the world because they
I didn't read that part. Is that what he said?
Oh yeah, they all cleared all their diseases up. I mean,
Well,
the claims are
I
just...
wish I had that track record.
Did you read that in the book?
You know,
And
if you look at these, you know, the studies on humans, the only studies on humans showing negative consequences of, say, red kidney beans or whatever it is when people were served the kidney beans that weren't cooked properly. They were cooked for 15 minutes. They were still hard, and you get a horrible food poisoning-like reaction when you eat large legumes that aren't cooked properly. Small legumes like lentils and mung beans you can sprout and safely consume. And the lectins in those products are less toxic than the lectins in the large legumes. So, I mean, humans don't eat raw, large legumes. We cook them first if we're eating them. So they've blown the whole lectin thing far out of proportion, and they're using research that's not pertinent to what they're saying to back their claims.
Here, the part of the story that's interesting, I just want to throw this in, then Joel will take. Lectins are actually part of this incredible system that nature created to protect the seed. That literally seeds were here on plants millions, hundreds and hundreds of millions of years before we showed up. And literally every seed has a natural pesticide on it. This isn't man-made pesticide, natural pesticide. So that species of plants would never perish. So the bugs would never eat the last one because they'd get sick, and the animals would never eat the last one because they'd get sick. And it's actually an integral part, the lectin, of this. And that's why we're able to now use it as a neurotoxin reversal with cancers and other things.
Now, that's not claiming there's not some people that don't react negatively to certain foods, including beans and lectins.
Anything.
And whatever we're saying, we're generalizing. There are still individuals that require dietary modification to meet their individual needs that were they're particularly sensitive to certain foods or food groups. So it doesn't mean we're saying beans are the perfect food for everybody. There's always exceptions to every rule.
You better not say that in Mexico.